Greetings, DWD Crew. Back in the day when you went to Disney, you used to just walk up to a machine, grab a paper ticket, come back later to ride the rides you wanted to ride. That system is long gone. Today, it's been replaced by a more convoluted and a little bit more expensive system. And it's the standard now at Disney World for riding the rides you want to ride. So today, the DWD crew is going to ensure that you never have to wait in a standby line to ride the rides you want to ride, because we're going to declassify the lightning lane. DWD crew, welcome back. First thing, like and hit that subscribe button. This is Disney World Declassified. Today's objective is going to be the entirety of the lightning lane system. All right. Some people say it's the most confusing system for rides that Disney has deployed. I mean, it involves tiers, it involves booking windows, it involves 3 different kinds of lightning lane passes. If you go in blind, you could spend your entire vacation staring at your phone, while other people ride the attractions you want to ride and you don't get to ride anything. So we're going to try to fix that. So before we talk tactics, though, it wasn't always this way. So how did we get here? In the old days, we had something called FastPass. Yes, it was free, it was simple, and it was glorious. You either grabbed a paper ticket or you booked your FastPass on your phone, and you could book your rides like 30 days in advance before your trip, so you knew what you were going to be getting on. It was great. But Disney realized they were leaving money on the table. So what did they do? They killed FastPass. They launched Genie Plus. And it was more complicated and really annoying. You had to wake up at 7 a.m. every day on your vacation to book your rides. It forced you to be glued to your screen right away and in the park. So now we've got the current system, the Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass. And it's a hybrid, essentially. It brings back the ability to book rides before your trip, like the good old FastPass Plus, but not as far out, unfortunately. But you still have to pay for it, like Genie Plus. So it's designed essentially to maximize revenue. If you use it right, it can maximize your time. So how does it work? All right. Well, here's the breakdown. First, you have the Lightning Lane with the multi-pass. This is your standard option. You pay a daily fee. It's usually something like $20 or $30 per person. And you can book 3 rides in advance. You can do this 7 days early if you're staying at a Disney hotel on property. Now, once you enter the park and you use your first pass, you unlock the ability to get another one. So the strategy works on a rolling basis. You use one, you get one. And so you kind of want to churn through these things all day. What's the next option? It's the Lightning Lane single pass. So this is for the heavy hitting rides, the absolute most popular rides in every park. It's the headliners. These ones are not included in the multi-pass. This is a separate fee, somewhere in the range between $15 to $25 per person to ride that one specific attraction once. Now, you can, of course, wait in line, the standby line, but not recommended for these because of how long that can be. So, examples like the Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios or Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot, that's the kind of ride we're talking about. And then there's the third option, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. This is the nuclear option. It is expensive. We're talking varies per park, per day. It's based on, Disney will publish ahead of time what the prices are going to be at which park and on which day. But you're talking up to maybe sometimes $359 per person extra on top of your park ticket for this option. Why so expensive? What does it do? Well, it gives you a one-time entry to every single Lightning Lane attraction in the park that you booked it for. What does that mean? It means there's no booking windows. There's no waking up early. You walk into the park, you point at something, I want to ride that. Go scan your band or sure, your card if you have it, and you ride it. That's it. You can kind of do whatever you want. So this is if you've got the money to spend on this thing. Is it worth it? Dealing with the multi-pass first? Yes, I would say it's worth it. Especially if you're coming from out of state, or if you're traveling from outside the United States. You want to make sure you get a chance to ride the rides you want to ride. Maybe not at a park like Animal Kingdom, or if you're a Florida resident, you can easily go to Disney World anytime you want. Then it might not be worth it for you. And the single Lightning Lane purchases for the headlining rides is worth it, because you don't want to fly or drive such a far distance and then you can't get the rides. You can't ride in the rides you want to ride because you're sitting there for hours in a line. Like, you don't want to do that. The Premier Pass, that's a different story. Do you want to do that? That depends on your party. I've done it at 2 parks, and was it worth it? Yeah, for me at the time, because I was traveling with 2 people, 2 seniors who were never going to come to Disney World ever again, and we wanted to make sure they could ride everything they wanted to ride. And we pretty well did. So it was good, and we weren't on the clock, so we could take our time getting from one ride to the next. We weren't rushed, and you really, it is true. Disney's been monetizing all kinds of things that used to be for free, and it sucks. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, the park has always been about, Disney's always been trying to make money. I mean, that's kind of given, right? They don't have the park out of the graciousness of their hearts. At the same time, there is something to be said about paying for something like this, and you're not on your phone when you're at the park. You don't have to be. You don't have to worry about your reservation times, and you can just kind of casually go on a ride here and there. And so there is a price point where sometimes for some people it might be worth it. So I would not rule it out entirely. I would budget and see if you can do it or not, or save for it or not. I mean, that's up to you, but it's an option. So I will say, though, that one thing we did notice when doing it is you've really got to get, moving on rides, because the day goes by faster than you think, and you don't want to leave rides on the table, so to speak, that you can't get done. So that's something also to consider. All right, so what's the best strategy if you're doing the Lightning Lane multi-pass and the other single rides? You got to book your first ride early in the morning on the multi-pass. Why? Because as soon as you tap that first ride, you can book your next one. If you don't book your first ride till like 6 p.m., you're locked out of booking rides for the whole day. So you got to burn that first pass early. The sooner, the better. I mean, if you've got plans outside of the park or something, or character breakfast or something like that, okay. But you should be burning that first pass by 10 a.m. so you can immediately book another ride. And this is how you get, because in some of the parks you can only pick one tier 1 ride to start. So the way you get to ride all the tier 1 rides and skip the lines is you book one early, you ride it. As soon as you scan into that ride, you book the next one, and you get all your tier 1s that way. All right, now we're gonna go park by park, and I'm gonna give you the priority targets for every park. Ready? Here we go. Here's your shopping list. First, Animal Kingdom. This is the simplest park to deal with when it comes to the Lightning Lane multi-pass system, because there's no tiers here. And I would never suggest using a Premier Pass for this particular park. The single pass that you need to get, the single Lightning Lane that's available here for purchase, the pay to ride, Flight of Passage. It is still the longest line in the park. Pay the money, skip the wait. This one is worth it, 100%. It is up there for a contender of the best ride at Disney World. You don't want to show up to Animal Kingdom and you don't get to ride it. The multi-pass. There's no tiers at this park, meaning with the Lightning Lane multi-pass system, right? Some rides are tier 1, some rides are tier 2. So you have to pick one tier 1 ride and 2 tier 2 rides to book in advance. That's not the case in Animal Kingdom. There are no tiers. You just pick 3 rides. Okay? So 3 rides: Kilimanjaro Safaris, Expedition Everest, Navi River Journey. Those 3. What order you do them in? I mean, you could do Expedition Everest and hop over to Kilimanjaro Safaris and then turn around, like go down the park and then go head towards the Navi River. That would make logical sense in that path. But that doesn't ultimately matter. But those are the 3 that you want to get. As soon as you get one, you can start booking any other ones that are around. But that's the 3 that you can easily knock out before lunch, and you can ride every good ride there is at Animal Kingdom. Okay, next, Epcot. So, as I mentioned, tiered system. Here, there's a tier system. You can only pre-book one tier 1 ride on the multi-pass. So, for the multi-pass then, which one are you going to book for your tier 1 ride in advance? It depends on your situation. What are you and your party into? Your options are Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Frozen Ever After, or Test Track. Your group likes the need for speed, you're going to pick Test Track. If they're big fans of Frozen, you're going to pick Frozen Ever After. If they're neither of those things, you're going to pick Remy's. So just decide which one you want to do. And as soon as you book the one, you book the other. That's how that's going to work. And the multi-pass, the tier 2, you're going to pick Soarin', and you're going to pick Mission Space. Because outside of those, I don't think any of the other ones are worth wasting a Lightning Lane on. Now, as far as the single pass that you're going to pay to ride, that's a simple one. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Non-negotiable. Again, right up there for, is this the best ride in Disney World? I mean, it is. Some say yes, it's a top contender. Okay, now what about Hollywood Studios? This is a top heavy headliner park for rides. The single Lightning Lane pass that you pay to ride per the ride. Rise of the Resistance, that's the one here. If you've never done it, do it. Pay the cash to ride this ride. It's an immersive masterpiece, but if you've done it, this ride can get a little old if you've done it more than once. So just, unless you really love it, then do it again. But I noticed after doing it a couple of times, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to pay to ride it again. There's a single rider option sometimes, so to consider too. Okay, now for the multi-pass. Slinky Dog Dash. That's the one. Lightning Lane disappears faster than any other. Book that first. Once you clear that, that's when you can then book Smuggler's Run Millennium Falcon, which is the other tier 1 on the multi-pass that's worth doing on there. Aerosmith Coaster, which is going to convert to the Muppets, is going to be closed for a portion there in 2026. So if it's open, that's another one to bang out quickly, but Slinky Dog Dash first. Then for the tier 2 rides that you book, Toy Story Mania and Tower of Terror. Easy peasy. This park is hard to do without a Lightning Lane's option because the standby line here, and this park can be quite brutal. All right, Magic Kingdom, the Target Rich environment. For the single pass Lightning Lane that you pay to purchase for per person per ride, my personal favorite is Tron, the Light Cycle Run. It is fast. Looks incredible at night. So this one, specific time if you can get, is nighttime when you want to ride this. If your kids are too small for Tron, they don't want to ride it, get Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The pro move, if the budget is there, you can do both. And I would suggest you do both. If you can do them, book both Lightning Lanes, Seven Dwarfs in the afternoon, Tron at night. Beautiful. Multi-pass for the tier 1, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, pardon me. Tiana's Bayou, that's the priority. The exception there If you're really nervous about getting wet, I never got wet on the ride, but other people did, so fair enough. If we're nervous about that, get the Big Thunder Mountain when it's open. It'll be open in 2026 again. Get that one. The other ones on there, not really big fans of. So, Multipass Tier 2, Pirates of the Caribbean, Buzz Lightyear. You got small kids, grab Winnie the Pooh. I would do that anyways. But just cycle through, like I said. As soon as you book one, start booking other ones you want to do. Okay? So, that's it. I mean, that's all you need to know. The system is expensive, but time is the one asset you cannot get back. So, book early. Use that kind of rolling strategy. And consider paying the single pass for the big rides. All right. And with that, also, just a reminder, we've got planning videos on our site for all the parks, even if you want to even drive to Disney World. But for all of the parks, our videos, we have them all set up so that you can basically, we can have a whole itinerary for you in terms of what to eat, what to ride. You just copy and paste and go. So that's an option too, because a lot of videos will give you endless options, but no real good suggestions of what should you do and leave you lost. And we don't want to do that. So our planning videos are the way to go. And with that, well, maybe we will. We'll see you in one of the lightning lanes for sure. But you won't see us. DWD, Declassified.